This was the mistake I made. I was going to try to do a laundry motivational video, and I was like, I'll just wait until I have enough laundry to separate. What's on my shirt? I need to change my shirt. Okay, I have on a clean shirt now. I thought it would be a good idea to like have a laundry motivational video, and my idea was that I would just kind of I had like 2 or 3 loads and I needed to put away, and I was like, I'll just do a laundry motivational video. And then things happened, and then we were doing, oh my god, then we were doing trying to finish the laundry room. It still is not finished because it just keeps raining and things just keep happening. I digress. Anyway, so needless to say, it is now like 4 or 5 days after my original motivational laundry video, and now it's gonna be really motivating. So give it a thumbs up, subscribe, stick around, and let's get to it. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Vanna and I'm so glad you've stopped by. On this channel you'll find cleaning motivation, DIY projects, home projects, and mommy / homemaking content. It's so odd for me to say that because growing up I totally shunned the idea of a stay-at-home mom. Don't come for me for that comment, but I just wanted to be Miss Independent and work. And then I had my first son, Liam, and I absolutely fell in love with him and being a mom and just being a wife. So in my last video I mentioned that I wanted to share my breastfeeding journey with Finn, and today's video is a laundry motivation video, and I thought it would just be a good time to do a voiceover and just sit down and kind of talk about that. So with Liam, I knew that I wanted to breastfeed, and I did, and it was great. I worked shortly after having Liam, and my job was pretty flexible. There wasn't, too much stress. I produced enough milk for him to be able to have breast milk until he was about a year old, even after he stopped exclusively nursing around 6 months. It wasn't something necessarily that I wanted to do, but he just wasn't having it anymore. Maybe that's the theme with my children, apparently. With Finn, I was expecting pretty much the same experience, and I was totally wrong. When Finn was born, he latched on and nursed great, but the next few times after that, even in the hospital, it was more difficult. I think he was just so hungry. He wasn't having it, and like not enough was coming out. So we ended up supplementing with formula, which I think is pretty common. But then I continued to have him, latch on. And when I got home, I immediately started pumping, and I built my supply up really well. So once I had recovered from having the C-section, however, I just had a bunch of family stuff that was going on. Liam had started school, and he was doing online school, so he was home all the time. And he had 3 meetings a day on top of all the other schoolwork that he had to have help with. Whew. Plus, I was still working. The most important thing though, or I think the biggest thing is that I had mentioned in a previous video that my mom has passed away. She passed away in November, but before that she was really sick, and my whole family was pitching in and helping out. And it got to the point where she couldn't be left out alone at all. And so all of us would take shifts going over there and staying with her and just, taking care of her. So for me, it was really stressful. I mean, I know it was stressful for everyone in my family, but with me having a kid that was doing online school and me basically being, his teacher. It was just, I can't just say, Liam, go do your schoolwork, because, there's some things that he still can't read. He needs instructions. I need to sit down and make sure that he is actually doing the stuff. So, it was really difficult. Plus, having a newborn baby and trying to breastfeed and build my supply and keep my supply going, it was really hard. Now, for a couple of months, I did have enough supply built up and it was great. But then after a while, things just got really bad with my mom and my supply started to dwindle. And so I had to use up what I had stored away, the frozen breast milk that I had stored. We had to use that. And then it got to where I was just, before that, I started just exclusively pumping like pretty early on, because it was just too difficult to sit down for an hour every time that Finn needed to eat, plus pump after that. I literally did not have the time to dedicate to that. So I just exclusively pumped and gave him breast milk, and that worked out fine. And I built up my supply for a little while. But then things kind of got really bad with my mom and my supply started to drop. And then eventually when she passed away, I think that's really what kind of dried everything up, so to speak, in every way, shape, and form. The most important thing is that your baby is loved and fed. And Finn is very much loved and fed. So ultimately, I really just wanted to encourage moms out there who are breastfeeding or who have switched to formula, or maybe you just never even wanted to breastfeed and you have somebody that's making you feel bad about it. Because I know in the hospital, if you say you're breastfeeding and you're doing pretty well with it, everything is perfect, you're golden. You get treated really well. But I hear a lot of people say that if you are in the hospital and you say you don't want to breastfeed, you just kind of you get shunned or you get looked down upon. It's kind of mommy shaming, and I don't like it. So I really wanted to touch on, because I never felt any kind of really big guilt or anything with Liam, because everything just went so smoothly. But I don't think a lot of people talk about that in between, the people who are not giving enough breast milk and are having to do formula. And I did everything that I could to try to keep my breast milk supply up and have enough for him, but ultimately we ended up having to supplement with formula just until I was not even pumping 4 ounces a day. And that's when I decided, I was like, okay, it's too stressful and it's making me feel bad every time that I pump, and it's just not enough for a full meal for him. I think that was when I decided and gave myself permission to just kind of be done with it and to just go to formula, and it would be okay and I would be okay with it. Because if you don't know, you don't know. But the mom guilt around this idea of not being able to provide for your children or what your children need, and it could be anything. It could be buying a pair of shoes, or making sure that they're fed, or getting them a toy that they really, really want and you feel like they deserve. But it's just the idea of not being able to give them what you think they need makes you feel really guilty. And guilt, it can be a healthy emotion in some ways, because it's kind of like a check. Are you doing the right thing? Because guilt says that you're doing something wrong. Was I doing anything wrong by giving him formula? Absolutely not. And the thing is too, if you continue to not kind of keep up with what you're feeling and what emotions you are experiencing, it can overflow, like your cup can be so full that it just overflows into everything. So maybe your self-care cup is approaching really, really full, and it just kind of starts to spill out into your work, or it spills out into, your relationship with your kids, or your relationship with your partner, with your husband, or, whomever, your co-parent. It can really have a negative effect if you continue to hold on to guilt. I say all of this to say, girl, me too. I felt really sad and I cried, and it took me a long time, which I'm sure that the postpartum hormones probably had some play in, the emotional roller coaster and everything else that was going on in my life. It's hard. It is hard just breastfeeding in general. You might have those people who just have like magical experiences. Now, when I say I had a good experience breastfeeding with Liam, it was good, but it was not like just magical. Nothing about being pregnant and having babies, in my experience, was magical, but that can be for another time. I love my kids. I love my babies. Did I love being pregnant? Absolutely not. I hope that this video finds the people it needs to find. I know that this video is not going to be for everyone, and I know that some people are just totally not going to get it, but I pray that whoever needs to hear this video hears it. I pray that you hear my words and that you feel encouraged, that you feel motivated, and that you feel like a burden and a weight has been lifted off of you, because you're not alone in feeling those mommy guilty feelings, and you can just shake it off because you are not doing anything wrong. You are doing the absolute best that you can for your children, and that is good. That is good enough. I often listen to Brené Brown, and I've read a bunch of her books, and I've listened to her TED Talks. She is great. Brené Brown says that she found out that people are generally doing the best that they can. Even people who make really, really bad decisions. Like, even, this is getting off probably on a whole nother topic, but I feel like maybe somebody needs to hear that, because when I say you're doing the best that you can, maybe somebody feels like, no, I definitely could do more. And while you might think that you can do more, you're actually doing the best that you can in that moment. Take inventory on what you need. Yes, so I do believe people are ultimately doing the best that they can in that moment. You never know what someone is going through. You never know what's going on inside of their head. A lot of people are not very forthcoming and do not like to talk about their emotions, their feelings, or people are guarded because they've been hurt. So you are doing the best that you can. You are doing good enough. Highly recommend her. If you have not ever heard of her or read any of her books, it is Brené with a B, like Renee with an R, but with a B. So Brene Brown. Really awesome. She is a researcher and she focuses on shame and guilt. She is also a social worker, but she also teaches. She's great. She's great. I think I finally understand what she talks about whenever she tells people that she is a shame researcher, and she just gets all these like crazy kind of little standoffish reactions because I just kind of felt that recommending that to you guys. I don't know why, but I normally don't feel that way when I recommend her, but maybe it's because somebody out there listening to me is like, oh no, not gonna listen to anything about shame or guilt because it's so shaming. However, if you feel that way, then listening to her work is crucial. You will have a totally different perspective in life. You will learn so much about yourself, and I promise you, you will find joy again, because feeling vulnerable is very scary, but it is also the birthplace of happiness and joy and peace and creativity and all of the really positive good things. But you can't have the positive good things without first feeling the scary, intense, not so good feelings. Highly recommend her. Please check her out. Okay guys, I hope you have enjoyed this very long, hopefully encouraging talk, and hopefully this very motivating laundry video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. I want you to stick around, and I hope to build family here on YouTube where we can just be friends and hang out and support one another. I love watching YouTube videos, and I remember when I was a kid, oh my god, this is a super long outro. When I was younger, just the idea of someone like sitting with me and like talking with me used to just motivate me. Like I used to just call my friends over to just come clean, like watch me clean my room. Like, I don't want you to help me. You don't have to help me. Just come like be with me. And I feel like YouTube is kind of that thing for a lot of us. So if you like that kind of stuff, please stick around, please subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified whenever I upload a video. I am trying to do at least one video a week. I would really love to start posting and uploading more videos, but for now it's going to be at least one a week. So thank you so much. See you later.